Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your July soul session. I'm Princess India. If you're new and if you're family, welcome back, my friend, and whatnot, or whatever. So, we're going to be looking at an overall energy as well as a challenge. And then we're going to be getting into a more specific spread to see what is going on with you all for the month of July. So, let's hop into it. Okay, that one. All right. And let's take that. And let me pick these cards for our more specific spread. All right, let's see. So our overall energy for Cappy. Okay, for the month of July, we have the Seven of Wands. This is challenged by, interesting, the Knight of Wands. Okie dokie, lemon choky. Okay, so Capricorn, what it is looking like in the month of July for you guys with the Seven of Wands here. Something I will tell you to kind of look out for. I do feel like people are going to be coming for y'all, if I could say it that way. Wait, I'm about to shuffle in your ear. Sorry, Capricorn, I apologize. So I feel like people are going to be kind of coming for you guys, not necessarily giving insight into their intentions or motive, like saying that, people are plotting against you or anything like that. It's not necessarily that. I just feel it could be for a myriad of different reasons, you know what I mean? But it feels more like an energetic thing for me, where there could be a lot of pestering, a lot of people asking of you. It feels almost like people like nipping at your ankles almost. So it's not really so much that they have the intention of anything with this, you know what I'm saying? Like malicious intentions, like trying to throw you off your square. Is just kind of like energetically a wave comes through and all of a sudden people are like, I need things and stuff. And it's like Capricorn has the things and stuff I need. You know what I mean? And people just constantly coming at you for stuff. And this could be at work. This could be in your personal life. This could be like with friendships. It's just more or less feeling like your energy is being taxed by people. Now, why this is important is because where I do feel how this can manifest kind of like a spiritual attack in the bigger scheme of things, I feel like it's really you guys being in the is not is paradigm. I feel you guys have kind of took a turn somewhere where you're like, I'm going to focus on myself or focus on my work or what have you. Or, something I'm hearing is like, I'm going to stop cussing so much. You know what I'm saying? But it's almost like these people coming to you. It's almost like I don't know why I'm even saying stuff like this, but it's almost like they're testing your gangster in a sense, Capricorn. But where this could feel like a spiritual attack is because when you make the decision to like step into your God space, so to speak. So, trying to be calm, trying to be positive, trying to be mindful, trying to focus on the right things. All of a sudden, these people are just coming out of the woodwork and it's like they're hitting you kind of like in your Achilles heel. So it's almost like people targeting you in the same area that you're trying to work on. And you can be set up for the okey doke with this and kind of come out of your character or, be kind of irrational. And that leads us into this Knight of Wands here for our challenge. It's like the challenge this month is going to be to, respond as opposed to react. So I feel with this, because of people hitting you guys kind of in a tender spot, there's the potential for you all to be reactionary. You know what I mean? So when I say nipping at your ankles, it's like if you think about little things of someone constantly eating at you, eventually you get to a point to where you like kind of flash. Like I'm thinking about my Family Guy fans out there, like the episode where Stewie is like, Mom, Mommy, Mama, Ma, Mom, Mom, Mommy, Mom, right? So doing that, it's kind of like that happening from multiple different people. And, like at the end, Lois is like, what? Right? So it's trying to prevent yourself from getting to that what? Like reaction, right? So the key is staying on your square, staying in alignment so that you can respond to things that are coming as opposed to react. And that's why I stress the fact that this isn't really speaking to like the motive or the intention of people. Because I mean, of course, we could never know that anyway. You know what I'm saying? We can't observe people's motive. We can't observe people's intentions. We can make judgments on what we assume, right? But that's not something we can actually observe. And I'm not feeling that it's like it's personal. It just feels like an energy that's kind of coming. And, if an energy calls, it's like ask. And people are like, I'm going to ask. And I'm specifically going to ask Capricorn. But with you being in this space to try to step out of something that you've been doing, it's kind of like the perfect storm in so many words. So getting into your more specific spread, your central energy that's representing you all for the month of July, we have the Ace of Swords in the reverse. Your past influence, which is from the latter part of June into the beginning of July, we have the Four of Pentacles. Your hidden influence is the Justice card. That is Libra energy. And your potential outcome is the Ace of Wands. And what to look out for moving forward. Interesting. We have the Three of Wands in the reverse. That actually came up as the outcome for Taurus. So with this Four of Pentacles we have in your past influence coming into now, you're holding on to something for dear life, Capricorn. And I feel like that's your peace. You know what I'm saying? When I was talking about in you guys' overall energy, how I was saying it's like you've elected to kind of step out of agreement with something and step into your God space. I ain't gonna cuss no more. I'm gonna, stop flashing out on people, like whatever intention it is that you've set for yourself, right? I feel like you guys are guarding it for dear life, like trying to protect it. And I'll stick with protecting your peace. I really feel that's what it is that's happening here. So the thing that kind of makes you vulnerable with this is when you're in a state of protecting your peace, it's like you're kind of more sensitive to people coming to you, and your first assumption would kind of be that they're trying to disrupt your peace. You know what I mean? So it kind of puts you on the defense as opposed to the offense in so many words. So it's like you're literally trying to defend what you feel is precious, and you're trying to protect it. So this can kind of put us into a headspace where we can misconstrue intentions. And I think that's why my guides are telling me to stress the fact of with these people who are kind of nipping at you, it's not personal. It's not them coming to you because they have malicious intentions or anything like that, or because they know that you're trying to do right. You know what I mean? So it's like if Capricorn decided to stop drinking, it's like all of your friends hitting you up to go drinking. They're not doing that because it's like, oh, Capricorn stopped drinking, so let's call them and ask them to go drinking. No, but because you're trying to protect your sobriety, proverbially speaking, right? Them asking you can be perceived as an attack. You feel what I'm saying? And it's really not. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel with this, the thing to kind of watch out for with this, and I always tell you guys this with the Four of Pentacles, is whenever we're in Four of Pentacles energy, we're in a scarcity complex, and that inadvertently causes us to become stagnant, right? Because we're fixated more on what we fear losing, and that takes our attention off of growth. You know what I mean? So we end up becoming stagnant, trying to protect the scarcity of what it is that we have. And that prevents us from seeing how we can acquire more, how we can grow in other areas. And when we speak about this in the context of like our chakra system, right? It's like the guy's holding the pentacles like to his heart. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh my gosh, this is all I got, right? So with our heart chakra, that is our chakra that mixes up our higher chakras and our lower chakra. I'm saying mixes up because I'm trying to make this quick. I don't want to get super deep, right? But that's like our balancing sense in so many words. So our three lower chakras, that's our human chakras, that's focused on humanity type things. Our three upper chakras are like our spiritual chakras. So they're focused on more higher vibrational type of things, right? But whenever we get to this point of a scarcity mindset, that instantly snaps us down into sensory consciousness. So we're only operating out of our three lower chakras, right? Hence like the scarcity. For those of you who are my psychology fans out there, it's the same equivalent if we think about the three lower chakras, like if you're not familiar with them, if you think about the three lower chakras, like the first three levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's the same kind of concept in so many words. So we're fixated on these very survival 3D oriented type of things, right? With our heart space being kind of shut down or, overactive, underactive, however you want to look at it, that's going to back up all the energy for our higher chakras, right? And then eventually, with that being off balance, it's eventually going to block or make it overactive or underactive our crown chakra, which is our connection to spirit, right? So all of the insight and guidance that we're getting is only going to be from sensory consciousness in 3D, which is only going to feed back to us more scarcity, more lack, more fear. You feel what I'm saying? So that's something that you want to watch out for, because with the overall energy being the 7 of Wands, it's saying you guys are already at an advantage by, stepping into your God space, so to speak. The only way that can change is not by the people nipping at you. It's by how you choose to respond to the people nipping at you. Hence the reason why the challenge is the Knight of Wands. And it's saying to not react. It's saying to respond, right? Because responding could be, I'm going to ignore this. I'm not going to let this steal my peace. You feel what I'm saying? And kind of the vibe that I get with this, and not necessarily saying this for everyone, but I just feel this is something that needs to be said. What I kind of feel with this is that this is a habitual kind of thing, to where, Capricorn decides to start a diet, then everyone in the house starts bringing sugary cakes home. And it's like, I can't never start no damn diet, because every time I get on a diet, y'all bringing sugary cakes home and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you're reacting and eating the sugary cakes, whereas you could respond and not eat the sugary cakes. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel that's really what the main lesson is going to be here. And I see this even more so in this Ace of Swords in the reverse that's representing you guys in the month of July, because you're operating on the dark side of the sword. And by that, it's like the dark side of the mind. So the side of the mind that is sensory consciousness, that is limitations, that's pessimism masquerading as realism, seeing the glass as like half full, feeling as if you have ops, you know what I'm saying? And people are out to get you, feeling like you need to be, defensive, all of the things. So that's human brain sensory consciousness versus like Christ consciousness, which would be, when I'm talking about the crown chakra and things, or wise mind, if we could call it that way. You know what I mean? So it's like being too much into logic mind and not tapping into wise mind, because with wise mind, we're able to overstand our situation. We're able to look at it objectively, but there's a limitation in Capricorn's objectivity at present. And I feel that's really going back to this fear that Capricorn has of you feeling like you need to fervently protect whatever it is that you're trying to protect. You know what I'm saying? Now, with the Justice card showing up in you guys' hidden influence, very similar to your earth sign brethren and sister in Taurus. And this may be a earth sign thing. Can't remember what Virgo was about. But anywho, with your hidden influence being justice, is reminiscent to me of what the overall lesson was for Taurus, which was balance, right? It's reward and punishment, personal accountability, thinking about or weighing your options before you're reacting to things. And I feel that's the thing that's lagging. And I feel kind of like this is like a blind spot type of thing for Capricorn, because like I'm saying all of this, but I don't feel Capricorn in transit. Like you guys are in the subjective experience. Because I'm looking at these cards, I'm speaking of it from an objective viewpoint. So, of course, Capricorn wouldn't necessarily see themselves as reactionary, right? They would see themselves as, I'm just trying to do right, and people just keep, messing up stuff while I'm trying to do right. You feel what I'm saying? And Capricorn wouldn't see themselves as being, pessimistic or seeing things in like a scarcity mindset. That's not anything that you would be aware of, because your main thing is protecting, your best interests in so many words, right? But I feel what the call is with justice is like twofold. In one sense, spirit is hoping to bring you to a place of balance to where you're able to kind of, run the pros and cons before you're acting, right? In order for one to do that, you have to be present and you have to be mindful, right? Going back to our overall energy, coming into this month, I feel like that's where you guys started out. That was the intention. But the whole challenge, I think, for all of humanity is it's staying fervent and committed to presence. You know what I mean? And or staying fervent and committed and present with, you know, your diet, or not cursing anymore, or not drinking anymore, whatever this is that we're talking about. It's, and most of you guys, those of you who you know, are in recovery, you know this, but it's like, I look at recovery from substances very similar to us making changes in our life. And it's the fact that like sobriety is something that you do moment to moment. Like every moment you're making the decision to not use, to not drink. You know what I mean? And it's kind of the same thing when we're trying to get away from ineffective behaviors and make shifts and changes in our life. But if we end up, you know, in our headspace, not being present, thinking about the past, thinking about the future, you know, ruminating over something that happened earlier, whatever the case, that's the things that takes us out of our God space and makes us vulnerable, right? So if you're in your God space or wise mind or whatever it is that you want to call it, right? Whenever you're in that space, you are present, right? So when these, you know, little nippers come towards you, you can be in your mindful presence and you can elect in that moment, should I, you know, like, how should I respond to this? Right. It's like, you know, what's really happening? What am I feeling? Like really kind of observing your surroundings, observing yourself, observing what emotions are coming up. Right. Like that's what mindfulness and action is. I think is interesting because when we talk about like mindful presence, I don't know, maybe it's just because it became mainstream, but how a lot of people look at mindfulness is like, I don't know, being in like some woo-woo state of bliss all day, every day, or like meditating every 5 minutes or something. But that's not what mindfulness is. I mean, it can look like that, but that's not what it is. It's very much like a mental state. It's a state of presence. You know what I'm saying? Of like, you know, going into a park and people watching, but not making judgments. It's just observing the people and what's happening and what's being done, not naming it, none of that. It's like just allowing, you know, these people to pass in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of applying that to how it is that you're living every day. But why that's important is because that's how we gain dominion over how we're, you know, responding to things or how we're behaving, right? It's the fact that there's this sweet spot between, you know, a trigger, the thoughts that you have about it, you know what I'm saying, and your conditioning that leads to an actual action or a behavior. And I feel this justice is saying it's kind of trying to slow you down to bring you to this middle road to see that with every, you know, choice, there's, you know, a consequence, you know, the good consequences, there's bad consequences. And in the bigger scheme of things, all of us know that, but it's more or less bringing it back to like this moment right now, like you sitting here watching me and thinking about, you know, you could be thinking about what you're going to do next, you know, what is she going to say next? Is she going to say this? Is she going to talk about it? You know what I'm saying? All of that is keeping you out of the present moment. So it's tuning into what is it that I'm feeling right now? What is it that I'm thinking right now? You know, if I were to respond this way, is this going to be in my best interest or not? Right. So I feel this is kind of sucking the energy back to just you, despite what it is that everyone else is doing outside of you or how people are behaving, because that's where your power is going to come from. Because the main issue here for me, for the Capricorns that resonate with this, it is that, you know, reacting as opposed to responding in this very moment, right? Moving forward. Now, when we're looking at the potential outcome, we have the Ace of Wands here. And I feel what this is really saying, Capricorn, is in order for your behavior to change, in order for you to get different outcomes, in order for you to have like a fresh start in a sense, and not like in the big lofty minded sense, in order for things to look different for you, it seems so simplistic. In order for things to be different for you and to look different for you, in order for your future to look different than your past has, it's all going to come from these tiny, intricate decisions that you're making. Because even with this Four of Pentacles, like what I'm picking up intuitively now, like how I'm saying, like, oh, it's Capricorn protecting their peace. It's like, I feel with this, like the message I'm getting, I'm trying to make sense. It's not for me, so I just need to say it. But it's kind of like whatever it is that you guys are trying to protect, it doesn't even have anything to do with right now. Like the only thing about the present moment that you're concerned about is somebody presently like fucking with you, like right now. But whatever this thing is that you're trying to protect, it has something to do with like the future, like or something that wouldn't come to fruition until the future, or something that's like future oriented. But I don't know, I'm getting vibes of that kind of like a black and white thinking type of thing. So I'm gonna use this example. Hopefully this makes sense. It's kind of like you're a freshman in college, right? And it's summer, school hasn't started yet. Like, maybe you go back, well, not go back, because I mean it's your first time in college, but you go to university. And I'm saying this hypothetically because I don't think anyone that young watches me. But anyway, so you're going to college in August, like late August, right? So it's July and a bunch of your friends come over and like, oh, we should just like go out, have fun, party, whatever, right? And it's like Capricorn being super, super defensive, flashing out on your friends. And it's like, oh my gosh, you guys are so immature. This isn't high school anymore. Like, we're in college now. You guys need to be more focused on this, and this, right? But that energy I'm feeling of protecting something that's like in the future, it's like, mind you, you are a freshman in college. You haven't even started classes yet. But it's like you're trying to protect the degree that you're going to get 4 years from now in the summertime before you ever started school, if that's making sense. So it's almost like pigeonholing yourself. And it's like logically it makes sense. It's like, oh yeah, totally. You know what I mean? Everyone should mature, grow up, make better decisions and things of the sort. But this feels like an over course correction for me. So it's something with Capricorn where the decisions that you're making now, which logically makes sense, right? Like in a strategic sense, because I say this all the time, like with clients, whenever you create an end goal in your life, right? Whatever your ultimate end goal is, every moment to moment, every day, before you engage with something, you need to be asking yourself, is this in service to my end goal, or is this a disservice to my end goal? And that's what will help guide your decisions that will be in support of you getting to this ultimate end goal, right? But I feel that Capricorn's perception, which goes back to the energy that's representing you, the Ace of Swords, Capricorn's perception, right, is exactly what it is I just said, right? Like is this in service or a disservice to the end goal, right? But because the perspective of that is coming from the dark side of the sword, it's causing it to be unbalanced to where it's an over course correction. So I'll tell you this, Capricorn, even if you don't have Taurus in your chart anywhere, I would still highly suggest to watch Taurus, because I talked about something very similar, but from a different perspective. So I feel like you guys would get like the other side of this. You know what I mean? So just ignore me saying Taurus, right? But I feel that would be beneficial for you guys because it's the same kind of concept, but like the other side of it. You know what I mean? So it's more or less you're overcompensating, right? Because Taurus, the place that they were in, it was more from like a fear place. It's like they didn't know how to like drink a little, right? Because their fear is like, if I drink, I don't feel like I can do it a little bit. I feel like I'm going to overindulge. So I'm just not going to do it at all. You know what I'm saying? But it's like with you guys, I feel how this could be like you shooting yourself in the foot in a sense, is because you're overly course correcting. You know what I mean? So, and then it's just so far off projected into the future. You know what I'm saying? it's like you're throwing things off now, you're modifying things now for the future. But I don't know, it's like how my guys are showing this to me is so strange, because it's literally like a double-edged sword type of thing, pun intended. But what they're showing me, what I do understand of it is it's one of these things I call like a Jedi mind trick that our mind plays with us, like all the things I deal with in therapy. It's like we have very rational thoughts about things, but we don't see like how it's harming us in the process. You know what I'm saying? It seems very rational and logical, but we're not seeing like the downside of it. And I'm trying to get it out of my mouth, y'all, to make it make sense. I hope and pray that that's making sense. But it's like the only like colloquialism I can think is like it's a double-edged sword in so many words. You know what I mean? To where this logically makes sense, but if you really deconstruct it, you can see how it's self-sabotatory. Because of course, if you have an end goal, it is imperative to protect the end goal and only do things that are in service to said end goal. But there has to be a balancing act to that. You can't make your entire life about that. And I feel that's the headspace that Capricorn is in. And that's the similarity I see with Taurus. You know what I mean? It's like, because I'm focused on getting this degree in 4 years, I can't have fun with my friends. Right. And now I'm going to judge that, because since I'm choosing to not have fun, I'm now judging it and saying having fun is bad. And that's immature. Right. Because you need to grow up, because I'm grown up, because I've warded off fun, because I'm trying to get this degree. But the justice is more or less saying, yes, it's imperative to be aware of the rewards and punishments with things. But at the same time, there still has to be a balance between the two. It can't be all or nothing, because that's what I feel like the root of the issue is. It's the perspective that Capricorn is in is very much an all or nothing perspective. But the side you guys on is like on that nothing pessimistic type of side. And I feel it's comfortable because it's masquerading as rationality. You know what I'm saying? You know, and what is that saying? All work and no play makes Johnny a dull boy. You know what I mean? It's very much those kind of vibes. And that's the message I've been getting for a lot of signs this month, is us coming to this middle road between, oh man, my laptop did the thing. Dag nabbit, son of a gun. Well, this is an opportune time for me to tell you guys. So I started a GoFundMe for me to get a new laptop. You know, I said if this GoFundMe doesn't work, I'm going to have to go to OnlyFans. You know, it's going to be titties and tarot. Totally kidding. So help a girl out. I don't even know if y'all can still hear me, bro. Oh, I hate when it does this. Oh my God. But anywho, yeah, so I got to do the thing to get my laptop to work again. I don't even know if y'all can hear me, but you know, if you can hear me, donate to my GoFundMe. Help your broke therapist friend get a new laptop. Oh gosh. Oh, the computer. Okay, hold on, Capricorn. Oh man, what is going on? It is doing weird stuff. What is that? I've never seen it do that before. I don't know if you guys could hear me, but I was literally saying this is exactly why I started my GoFundMe, because my laptop is old and janky. You know what I'm saying? So donate to my GoFundMe. I think the link is like in the description box and the comments, if I've, you know, put that in there by now. But it's on the community tab. You know what I'm saying? Keep Princess India off of OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, moving right along. But yeah, like I was saying, it's like a very like black and white thinking to this. You know what I'm saying? And it's masquerading as logic. And I feel like the thing to look out for is this Three of Wands in the reverse. And that's speaking to like kind of losing sight of the overall plan. Like the thing I was saying before my laptop did the thing is that all work and no play makes Johnny a dull boy. You know what I mean? So it's like too much of something is never a good thing, because it puts us in a very fixed, stagnant energy. And the goal is really to be in this, middle of the road, ebb and flow kind of energy, to where you're not keeping yourself fixed. Because I could say the same thing for Capricorn too. On Taurus's side is more a fear that's a fear of themselves. I could say it that way. With Capricorn, it's more of a fear of people outside of yourself, right? So it's not an internalized fear. Like I feel Capricorn feels, I'm equipped, I can protect myself, like I can stay on track, but it's more or less it's the other people outside of you that you're fearful of. So it's the thought of letting someone else into your experience you feel could potentially throw things off kilter, but you're not seeing that by, exiting people out, or, keeping people out, or whatever it is, right? With others, that's actually you keeping yourself imprisoned into this fixed energy. So it's more or less learning to, or allowing yourself, rather not learning, but allowing yourself to kind of balance those two energies. Because it's almost seeing like external influences as like an enemy. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to protect yourself from everything and everyone else outside of you, because if you let anyone into your experience, like it's going to throw everything off. You know what I'm saying? But I hope and pray that that makes sense, Capricorn. So the whole key this month is mindfulness in like an action sense, right? And responding as opposed to reacting, and understanding that not everyone outside of you has, malicious intentions, right? It's all about a perception thing, in so many words. But I hope and pray that that made sense, Capricorn. Most definitely let me know what you think in the comments. Donate to my GoFundMe. Even $1 helps, dagnabbit son of a gun. But anywho, Capricorn, I love your freaking face, and I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends.